I told you that this, or the novel, or the song, or whatever you're creating, it isn't actually about the end result? That the secret to creativity isn't talent, it isn't perfection, and it isn't even about the final product. Stick with me, because this truth might just change the way you create forever. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Kim. I'm a 52-year-old Gen Xer, and I'm using my marketing and art history background to create an art business. I also created this YouTube channel as a place for people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond to get together, find inspiration from each other, and take a chance on their art. If you're new, welcome. I hope you stick around. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here today. So I have some things that I need to show you, but they're downstairs. So let's go downstairs and take a look at some old art of mine.
In my earlier videos, I talked about my experience with art school, where I initially started off in the Bachelor of Fine Arts program, but then switched into art history. In one of my drawing classes, part of the final evaluation was a sit down with the drawing professor, an artist named Amira Wazifi, bring in a body of our work and discuss what we felt was successful and not successful. Now, at this time, I was really into drawing people. I wanted to excel at a portrait artist. So I brought in a couple of examples of pieces that I was really proud of, that I thought were really successful. So I have them. I found them in a drawing tube under the bed. So we have one example. The reference photo, I think, is from a perfume ad that I found in a magazine. I just really liked the composition and the emotion behind the picture itself. Um, then I have a self-portrait of me. Yes, I had really short hair. But if you notice, the style is really, really tight and very rigid. And I really fought with doing portraits because I was so focused on having them look exactly like the person, because that's really the goal of portraiture, an exact representation of that person in my mind. But there was a drawing that I had that unfortunately I couldn't find. It was just a very quick study of a plant done in graphite on not even really nice paper. It was just that kind of newsprinty type paper that we used for our preliminary sketches. And she pulled that one out and said, "What about this one?" And I said, I brought it in because I wanted to talk about, I don't think it was successful. I brought that in as an example of what I didn't want to do. And she pointed me in a different direction because she said that it was actually one of my more successful pieces because I didn't have that very rigid expectation of what it needed to be. I had no emotional connection with this plant. So I was just very loose and organic with it. And she said to explore drawing things that I didn't have that emotional connection with, like a chair, which took me down the road of a chair series that I did. Oh, hold on. It got to the point where I drew so many, and I only have a couple here, that every time I talked to my mom and I would tell her about my drawing class and she'd ask what I was drawing and I'd say a chair and she'd be like, "Again?" So we have an early one, which is still very, very representational, very rigid. I like that one. Then I got into oil sticks. So I did another one, a little more free with color and texture.
So my drawing series culminated in my big painting behind me here, which has moved around with me for the last 30 years. Did this in 1995. And I'll pop the camera down so you can take a better look at it because it's kind of blurry in the background right now. It's one that I'm really proud of.
The point of this video is we're talking about creativity. Creativity isn't about the result. It's a journey of self-discovery and growth. And there are three myths that keep us stuck, doubting ourselves, and even having us give up before we even start. So let's break those down.
So we're back upstairs. Let's talk about myth number one, that good art requires natural talent. So the common belief that people have that creativity is this innate, inborn gift that you either have it or you don't. Everyone's heard someone say that they can't even draw stick people, but everyone starts out in the same place. If you compare an early work to someone with a later work, you'll see a marked difference in technique and styles. It's said that it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill, but it's not just time that factors into your success. What are you doing with that time? Are you pushing yourself? Are you trying new things? Or are you just sticking to what's comfortable and familiar and what you know? Are you looking at your own work critically to see where you can improve and things that you can change and work on? Your bad art isn't proof that you lack talent. It's proof that you're growing. So think about your own life. What's something that you used to be bad at, but you got better over time? Let me know in the comments below. Myth number two, creation is about the final product. Most creative works don't look beautiful the entire way through. Every painting hits that ugly point. It's messy, it's frustrating, it's full of revisions. If you write, how many drafts do you do? How many things do you cross out and add in? And it's the same with painting. You hit that point where you question things. Are your values right? Is your perspective right? Can you even paint? I know that I hit that point in pretty much every painting that I've done. What am I doing? And is this going in the right direction? But if you read about the science of creativity, you find that just the process has a positive impact on your mental health. The process itself helps stress, it builds resilience, and improves problem solving. I don't know if you've noticed the fish painting that I have here. This is a painting that my oldest daughter and I did. We followed a tutorial from Painting with Jane, one of her Painting for Relaxation series. Both of us struggle with rigid perfectionism, and it was an exercise in letting go and enjoying the process. I tell you, it was an emotional roller coaster of ups and downs. Part of that pure joy that you get from just the act of creating and being okay with whatever happens in the process. What we took away from that wonderful afternoon of sitting and painting and enjoying each other's company is that creativity isn't about making perfect things. It's about making meaning. In my last video, I talked about my own personal struggle with finding my own style, how I needed to cut through the noise of all of the other artistic references and things that I see on social media, and my own comparison between my own work and how I do things and how other people do that. And as we saw in the work that I showed from 30 years ago, my styles evolved in the last 30 years. If you compare it to the work that I showed from downstairs to now, I think I'm moving away from the rigidity, or at least I'm trying to, the very tight and controlled, and be looser and freer and have more fun. Another thing that I've done is also experimented with mediums outside of my comfort zone. Right now, I do a lot of oil painting or acrylic. My youngest daughter and I took a watercolor class with a local artist named Sue Bland, who's just an amazing person. And I've known her through my day job with some projects that we've worked on. And it was just, watercolors is not a medium I am comfortable with. My younger daughter really excels at them and really enjoys them. But I found it challenging because it's just such a different part of your brain that you tap into. So I encourage you to move out of that comfort zone, try something new, and see if you like it. So try a different medium or technique or an approach and leave the pressure behind. Just create. So the key takeaway for this myth is you don't need a style to start. You just need to start. Your style will follow. So what's the real purpose of creating? It's not just about art. It changes you as a person. There's 4 key benefits. You create more self-awareness. You help process emotions and thoughts. You become better at problem solving. It teaches you resiliency and adaptability. You work on your emotional resilience to help navigate changes in your life. And it provides a connection. Creativity is how humans share stories and experiences. I wanted to continue this conversation from my last video. There were a lot of great comments, and I think at this stage in our lives, we're finally becoming confident in who we are and what we want to do. So what are some practical steps moving forward? Here's a challenge for you. Try a daily create challenge. 5 to 10 minutes that you spend every day creating without judgment. So you start out small. A quick sketch. If you're a writer, write a sentence. If you're a singer, do a melody. It doesn't have to be perfect. Detach yourself from perfection. Set a timer and create without overthinking. If you want, document the journey. Create a vlog, journal, or sketchbook, or videotape yourself. Videotape, again, in 1992. Film yourself. Film, record yourself. Yes. That is the word for 2025. You don't need to be good at it. You just need to do it. So going back to my earlier work, my series, and I completely forgot that I had done a series. I'm doing this painting challenge through Anne Livingston's YouTube channel of a 10 painting series. I don't know why I forgot about my love of drawing chairs, painting chairs, being one with chairs. Much to my mother's chagrin. Why can't you do landscapes? And when I started removing my own limitations, because a chair does not care if it looks like a chair, then my skills improved and I got better. I put more time in too, which, as I said earlier, it's all about putting the time in and pushing yourself and using that time to work on your skills. So I used to believe that creativity was about making something impressive, but now I see it's about becoming curious, engaged, and alive. You already have everything that you need to create. You just have to give yourself permission. So start your creative journey today. Pick up a brush, a pen, a camera, anything. Just begin. Your creativity isn't about what you make. It's about who you become. If you found any value in what I've said today, hit that like button. It really helps me out. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd really love if you'd hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you know every time that I upload a video. And YouTube really thinks that this video would be really helpful to you. I hope you come back for the next one. Take care, and we'll talk soon.